Welcome back, everyone, to Big Red Jelly HQ. Happy to be here again. And anyone that is tuning in, we really appreciate it. Again, we hope that some of our content people find useful, especially entrepreneurs, so small business owners, people who are looking to get into business in any way, shape, or form. Here at Big Red Jelly, we do digital marketing and advertising and online branding. So the whole purpose of this podcast is to share things that we've learned along the way, be completely transparent, and hopefully help some of you out there in growing your businesses and your personal brands and your networks professionally. So entrepreneurs, welcome. Today's topic is very interesting. It is the 5 steps to start building your personal brand. We've talked about personal brands on this channel before, the importance of a personal brand. This one is particularly catered towards small business owners and entrepreneurs. Why, if you don't have a personal brand yet or you haven't started building yours, why you need to. And you know what? I'm actually going to take that back. Everyone has a personal brand. Whether you like it or not, you have one. It's just whether or not you are growing it, whether you are dictating what that looks and feels like, because if you're not, your competition will do it for you. And that's the last thing that you want. So let's jump right into it. 5 steps that you can do today or this week to start building your personal brand. So step number 1. Determine if you need a personal brand. Determine if you need to spend time building your personal brand. Let's discuss the pros and cons of putting some time and effort into your personal brand, right? So I'm just going to read off some of my notes here and listen along. Next time we'll be sure to animate this, make it a little bit more interesting to look at than just my face. Some of the pros of building your own brand are positioning yourself as an expert within your industry or space, increase conversion rates for sales, increase potential leads, expand your professional network, obviously, accelerate professional growth and improve your flexibility for promotions, career moves, etc., expand the digital reach and network of your small business or department or team or idea, attract attention of business leaders and decision makers that are going to be important for your business. What are some of the cons? It's a time commitment. There is some time that's going to be necessary to put in here, like most things out there. You can't afford to be shy, right? Or you can't be too shy. I think there are some people out there who are naturally shy, but they've found a way to make it work, and there are ways to do that. So we'll talk about that. Number 3, and probably the biggest one that I hear a lot, is the potential of alienating your close friends and relatives who follow you on social media, or maybe your personal Instagram or your personal Facebook page is near and dear to your heart, and you've never used it for any business purposes, and you don't want to soil that. You don't want to try and look like you're being fake or that you are trying too hard. Everyone really gets scared about that. And this is what we've learned by far the most over this whole process of building personal brands and helping small businesses market themselves, is that the famous people out there, the promoters who are out there, the people that you watch on YouTube, the people that you watch on Facebook, the people that you watch on Instagram or listen to or read about, etc., aren't necessarily the smartest, the best, the talented, or the most creative, the most skilled in that area. In fact, most cases they're not. They're just the best at promoting themselves. We've all been there, right? You're on your Facebook timeline, you're scrolling, and there's that guy or gal, and they're doing a live video again, and they're talking about something that they're passionate about, and you kind of roll your eyes, and you're like, oh, I'm going to listen to this. What a weirdo, And maybe we throw a little shade. Maybe you don't, but then at the end of the video, you're kind of like, at least they're doing it. At least they're promoting something. They're promoting themselves. They're putting themselves out there. So who's the idiot now? Right? I catch myself doing that all the time. That's the reason I bring that up, because I catch myself doing that. And that's why we're doing this. Honestly, half of the reason that we're doing this vlog is so that we are not hypocrites, so that we're putting ourselves out there, and whether one person listens or no people listen or 100 people, we're going to continue to move forward. So potentially alienating your close friends and relatives. And look, here's where you can do that. We also all have that friend who is constantly trying to sell you on their personal Facebook. It's super annoying. You unfriend, you unfollow, or you make fun of them. And rightfully so, because they're very uncreative in how they're going about marketing themselves or their idea or their small business. It really does just get super annoying. So for example, I always like to bring up an example of like a weight loss, because you see those all over the place. We all know that guy or gal again who was like, buy my product, buy my weight loss, buy this, buy this, buy this. It's so great, it's so great, it's so great, over and over and over again. Why not instead just share content, videos, photos, vlogs, entries, articles about their journey of losing weight and getting in shape on their personal social media, which I would be very interested in following. When you see a before and after of someone who's lost a lot of weight or has changed dramatically, their physical health, I like that stuff all the time. I love seeing that. It's motivating, and it wakes me up. So why not share stuff like that, which is personal, and then naturally your friends, family, and followers are going to say, hey, how did you do that? What's your process? What's your secret? What's your workout routine? What are you eating? What's your diet? And then you have a much more natural one-to-one conversation about how you got there using a product that you swear by, etc. Much more natural, less intrusive. You're growing your personal brand. You're going to grow faster. You're going to build your tribe, and it's just so much more organic, and you're not going to annoy or alienate your friends and family. So think about that equivalent, but in your own industry. If you're a barber or something like that, share what you're passionate about without selling to people. People are beyond that point now. It's not about just being sold to. It's just, hey, are you sharing something that's going to motivate me, that's going to educate me, that it's going to entertain me? Is it going to do one of those three things? Because if so, then I will follow, and naturally I'm going to come to you when I need that service or product. Okay, so the pros largely outweigh the cons. Now let's jump into step number 2. Perform a personal social media audit. So after you've kind of debated, well, should I build my personal brand? If you're a small business owner or an entrepreneur and you are out there struggling to build your business brand, you're doing it wrong. I highly suggest, if you're in the very early phases of running a business or a product or an idea, build it on your personal. Make you that idea. You're that, because you've spent your entire life building this network, this clout, this reach, and now you're just going to throw that down the drain and start a new Facebook page where you're grinding to get 50 likes. It's crazy. That day will come, but right now, be smart about it. If you're really passionate about what you're doing, then it should be easy to find some ways to share that content and passion in your personal life and on your personal social media feeds, for example. So that's why step number 2 is a little bit more clear now. You should perform a social media audit. And, when we do this presentation, we have several screenshots and stuff like that, which I will be sure to dive into in some other video where we can actually get some animations up here so you guys can see these screenshots. But look, if you haven't already, go back through all of your social media profiles and fill out as much information as you can and update that information. For example, on Facebook, if you click onto your personal profile, then click on the About tab, there's several tabs from that point. There's the Overview, Work and Education, Places You've Lived, Contact, and Basic Info, Family and Relationships. It's so shocking to me, even when I go back through and I see how much is missing, or it's a job I had 3 years ago. Go through and update that. It is amazing what that will do for your network. You will appear higher and more frequently in search results. You will start to have more personal connections and talking points when trying to network with decision makers. Oh, you went to the same high school as me. Oh, we have my cousin that I just listed as a family and relationship on Facebook. Oh, we went to the same college, or we studied the same thing. Go through there and do a personal social media audit, because your personal brand is your business if you're a small business owner or an entrepreneur. Especially your workplace. Link through to your business website, all that jazz. Step number 3, Explore new platforms important to your goals or industry. I'm going to breeze through this one a little bit quicker, but for example, there are the obvious ones for certain industries. So let's use a photographer as an example. This one's a little bit more kind of straightforward, but maybe not. A photographer, if I'm a professional photographer, there are the obvious platforms which I should probably have a presence on. Instagram being probably number one. Facebook, I should probably have a Facebook page, whether I'm using my personal Facebook page again, which I do recommend, or if I've started a business page, or, we'll talk about this in a bit, have I started a group for photographers or wedding planners. See where I'm getting at with this? Be a little bit more creative. Pinterest, but then there are the not so obvious ones. Tumblr. Have you thought about Snapchat? Have you thought about Etsy? Even though it's for selling products. But have you thought about those platforms where it is very visually oriented, that there's less competition? Snapchat, for example, a lot younger demographic that's using Snapchat, but they are reaching the age now where they are starting to get married and engaged. So if I'm a marriage photographer, I might start thinking about that tool a little bit more. I don't know. Give it some thought. An executive for a mid to large business, going to be different. LinkedIn is obvious. Facebook. Have you thought about Quora and Medium? If you haven't heard of Quora and Medium, go check it out right now. Those are some great platforms to be on, especially if you want to start to follow some really influential and intelligent people. Just a great place to learn from some really unique people out there that aren't celebrities or influencers. So I love Quora and I love Medium. Restaurant owner. If you own a brick and mortar business, obviously, Facebook, Instagram, maybe you want to be on LinkedIn, Pinterest, you want to have an account on Yelp, Google My Business, don't even get me started on that. Obviously, this is a whole other topic, but SEO-wise, we're not going to dive into the do's and don'ts, but guys, one of the first things that we talk about when we meet with a client that is interested in SEO or anything related to Google, my number one question is, do you know what Google My Business is, and are you using it? And most of the time, the answer is no, I don't. Are you talking about Google Maps? And I'm like, Google Maps is part of that. Google My Business is the world's largest directory, and it's free, at least for right now. We'll see. But Google My Business is a free tool that if you have an office or brick and mortar business and you don't know what Google My Business is, go check it out right now. You probably are already appearing on Google Maps. Go verify your account on Google My Business. It's free. You can start to manage your online reviews, update your information, do an audit of your Google My Business account. Do it. Again, but a restaurant owner, maybe you want to be on Quora too. Maybe you want to be on Snapchat as well. Depends on what type of restaurant you are, obviously, right? But start to think about these more creative platforms out there. So step number 4, share video content and preferred, or at least priority, live video if possible. There's always a lot of talk out there. Share content. Content is king. It's pretty much a cliche at this point. It's still true, but I mean, the facts don't lie, guys. It's fairly obvious, and this wave is here. It's been here for a while, but video is what people want to consume, right? So YouTube has over 1 billion users, almost 1/3 of total internet users. More video content is uploaded in 30 days than the major U.S. television networks have created in 30 years. Think about that. That's insane. 45% of people watch more than an hour of Facebook or YouTube videos a week. 1/3 of online activity is spent watching video. That's why video is great for obvious reasons. I won't dive into it too much. But that's why we put extra emphasis on live video. It's one of the few content pieces you can share on social media where the social media platform like Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, for example, will actually send a push notification to your followers that you are currently live. That's not very common, and there's a reason that they do that. They do that because there is a war, a bloodthirsty battle in the digital world of who's going to win this live video space. Is it YouTube? Is it Facebook? Is it Twitter? Who's who's going where. Live video is kind of at the forefront of video. And now, obviously, we're experiencing the next big wave of content, which, in my opinion, is VR. I don't think the hardware is where the content itself is at. So, not a whole lot of people have the whole VR headset. They're still pretty expensive. But I think as that becomes more and more accessible, for example, when your contact lenses can give you a VR experience, or when your everyday glasses can do the same, then VR is the next big thing, and in my opinion. So video, live video, VR, live VR. We have that too now. That's just crazy. But so get on that live video bandwagon. People always get hung up on, well, it's not high production. Guys, look at this. This isn't high production either. People will attach themselves to authenticity more than some high production $5 million ad spot that Nike put together for 15 seconds during the Super Bowl. So if you don't believe me, go look at some of the world's most popular vloggers. It's really not a whole lot going on there. It's a phone in the hand and you're recording yourself. Don't be shy. Get out there and go do it. Step number 5, realize that you are a brand. Build it. If you haven't already, take some time, go to GoDaddy or a domain registrar and book your firstname.lastname.com. JoshWeber.com was not available, sadly, but I bought thejoshweber.com. It's a little bit pretentious, but you get where I'm going. I could have done something else. It was $12 a year. So $1 a month. I own something related to my first name and last name on the internet that the whole world uses to connect themselves. So think about that for a second, and it's a worthy investment. So look that up, for example. Go build yourself a website, a free website. Use a drag and drop CMS like Wix or Squarespace. Don't go spend a ton of money. And this is coming from a team that does web design. No need for that yet. Go get a free website and build it yourself, but put your resume and your portfolio and your passion, put everything on the internet in a way that you can dictate, or otherwise your community and your competitors are going to do it for you again. So go out there, create your space, create your brand, create your identity, create your business card that the whole world can find, and you'll be amazed at what opportunities and doors open for you. You'll be amazed at what that will do in growing your small business rather than trying to grind behind the facade of your business. Get out in front of it. Say, I'm Josh Weber. I'm passionate about this, and this is why I chose to start this business. Now follow me in this journey if you share my passion. Much more likely to connect with your tribe and move forward. So those are our 5 starting suggestions or starting steps for entrepreneurs and small business owners out there. That's my question for you if you're listening. If you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, if you want to get into entrepreneurship and you have an idea, you have a product, you have a service, you have a team, comment below. What are some of the first things you would recommend to a fellow entrepreneur in growing their brand and growing their business at a faster rate? If you could go back in time, what advice would you give that entrepreneur to better market their small business at a more efficiently, right? Let's put it that way. So thanks, guys. Don't hesitate to tune in next week. We'll cover a different topic every single time. Have a great one.